quick review of the Friday the 13th, parts 1 through 3, Deluxe Edition DVDs. Now, I'm not going to go into the plot of these because I already did that in the From Crystal Lake to Manhattan box set review, where I talk about the first 8 movies and I go way in depth with the plots and everything. It's a 9-part review, so if by any chance you haven't seen these movies, I don't know who hasn't, but if you haven't seen them and you want to know about the plot or whatever, just go look at that review. It's a 9-part review. But yeah, I'm going to start with the first one, Uncut, and it's only uncut by 10 seconds. It even says so right here in fine print. This motion picture was previously released with in a version rated R. This unrated version contains 10 seconds of footage different from the original R-rated version, and it's just a few more seconds of gore during the death scenes. Like let me see, Annie's death. She gets her throat slit, and then shows a few more seconds of her sliding down the tree with a little more blood gushing out until it fades to white. Then there's Kevin Bacon's death, where there's an extra overhead shot showing, his face and gushing blood out of his neck. And then Marcy's death, where she gets an axe in the face. Just a few more seconds of her sliding down to the floor or whatever. And then Mrs. Voorhees' death, where it shows the machete cutting her head and then her head flying off with the hands coming up, but it doesn't just cut to the reaction shot right away. It shows the whole thing before it shows the reaction shot. So, you're not really missing much. I mean, if you had the R-rated version, I'd stick with that unless you're a die-hard fan. I mean, even the special features aren't really much. It's got a commentary by Cunningham with cast and crew, which is not an actual commentary. It's just a bunch of interviews spliced together that you've probably already heard before. Moderated by some guy. I don't know who he is. I forget his name. And then there's fresh cuts, new tales from Friday the 13th. Basically just new interviews, rehashing the same old shit you heard before on other DVDs, like the box set and His Name Was Jason documentary. And I'll review that someday, I promise. I'll review Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, and Freddy vs. Jason one day. Since I stopped being lazy, I've just been procrastinating, that's all. Then there's The Man Behind the Legacy, Cunningham, where it's at his house and he's, talking about like the history of how it got made and then the subsequent success of it and his family's involvement in it. His wife, Susan Cunningham, I think she was the script girl on part 1. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's probably gonna be a shitty review because I haven't actually watched this in about a week, so it's not so fresh in my mind anymore. But let me see. The fresh cuts feature, it's like 10 minutes. It's not really much. And Man Behind the Legacy, that's maybe 20 minutes to a half hour. Then there's a Friday the 13th reunion. That's convention footage with cast and crew of the first one. Similar to what you've seen on His Name Was Jason, if you've seen that. But it's nothing to write home about. I mean, I'd only recommend it if you're a die-hard fan, but if not, then I'd skip it. I mean, it's like $15 just for these. I don't know. I was disappointed with the features, to be honest. And then there's Lost Tales from Camp Blood. That's a fan-made short film, kind of, just like a fan's version of some kind of Friday the 13th movie or whatever. I don't know. I was sleepy when I watched it, so I'm probably gonna have to watch it again. But based on other reviews I've heard, it's not really that good. Um, but on the bright side, it's digitally remastered. The pictures cleaned up pretty good. Um, the sound is digitally remastered. The music is a little more detailed. Um, and then there's a theatrical trailer. So, yeah, that's about it. And then there's part two. You know, these do have nice covers though. I like the 3D covers. Kind of reminiscent of the old cover art, but whatever. Although part two is not uncut, it's R-rated, and it's digitally remastered like the first one. Better sound quality, better picture quality. Um, and then it's got Inside Crystal Lake Memories. That's like a 10-minute interview with the writer of the book Crystal Lake Memories. I don't know what you call those kind of books, like softback, hardback, whatever. I don't know. I couldn't afford the book because it was like $50 when it first came out, when I first heard about it, and I had to specially order it, and I was too lazy to do all that, plus pay that much money for it. So they only talk about part two. As far as like the Crystal Lake Memories. The book covers like all the movies, but this interview only talks about part two because it's part two, and yeah, it's only about 10 minutes. Then there's Friday's Legacy Horror Conventions. It's just more horror convention footage of God damn, I forget. I do know Jason Forever. It's another feature that's a Q&A session with four of the Jasons. I think it's got Ari Lehman or Ari Lehman. Not sure how you pronounce that. Warrington Gillette, who played one of the guys who played Jason in part two. The other guy, Steve Daskowitz, but he's not on here. And I don't know. It seems like Warrington Gillette takes all the credit for even Steve Dash's work. So make of that what you will. And then there's C.J. Graham from part 6, and then Kane Hodder from parts 8 through 10. Yeah, he played Jason 4 times. And then that's probably the only good feature on it that I enjoyed. The rest were kind of blah. And then it's got Lost Tales from Camp Blood Part 2. It's another short film made by another fan-made short film. And then there's a theatrical trailer. So again, you're not really missing much. $15, die-hard fan. You might want to get it, but if not, I'd pass on it.